5.
Hi, do you know if President Blake is in today? We're delivering a student letter.
To Brian Blake and the Board of Trustees, we, the Georgia State University Student Coalition Against Policing and Militarism, write this letter to express our solidarity with the Stop Cop City movement and demand the university end its sprawling investments in carceral projects, including but not limited to Cop City.
GSU has several ties to the Atlanta Police Foundation, APF, which functions as a covert conduit for corporate, nonprofit, and university donations to further boost already inflated police budgets while sidestepping public oversight. APF ranks among the largest police foundations in the country and has exploited this lack of transparency to disproportionately channel resources and funding towards militarization and surveillance. One of these programs, Operation SHIELD, is notorious for making Atlanta the most heavily surveilled city in the US and almost in the world. GSU has not only provided access of many surveillance devices to Operation SHIELD, which allows Atlanta police to monitor footage, but also recently vowed to significantly increase surveillance cameras and police presence and funding. The Criminal Justice Department also has multiple connections to local law enforcement through research and other partnerships, and has financially sponsored at least one APF event as a department. Additionally, GSU started the Atlanta Police Leadership Institute, APLI, with APF and the Atlanta Police Department, APD, which APF stated is part of a broader initiative that APF and APD are working diligently to realize: a city and statewide regional public safety training center, according to an email in response to summer 2020 protests. This direct connection between APLI and Cop City emerged almost a full year before the center was publicly announced, raising heightened concerns given APLI's desire to facilitate, quote, strategic placements in other city departments, end quote, which parallels the 43% of out-of-state trainees anticipated for Cop City.
Additionally, GSU President Brian Blake sits on the Atlanta Committee for Progress Board, which expressed its unequivocal support for Cop City the very same day it was announced publicly. Further, the ACPH chair at the time, Alex Taylor, agreed to lead the capital campaign for $60 million needed in private funding for the facility. This public-private partnership that convenes university, business, and city leaders has previously funded Operation SHIELD and has historically been a clear driver for quote-unquote public safety, which by its track record of investment appears to be defined by police, prisons, and punishment. President Blake's involvement with the ACP is deeply concerning considering its commitment to Cop City as well as other carceral projects. His membership on this governing body alone shows significant investment in Cop City and the expansion of the prison industrial complex. Many of the primary donors of the APF and other police foundations are represented on both ACP and APF boards.
The administration's continued interest in surveillance and policing constitutes an investment in reactionary forces. Police as an institution and paradigm of security are, by design, only able to react in situations of campus security. They do not prevent crime. Further, training or more technology does not significantly alter the basic premise of policing. Alternatively, investing in meeting the basic needs of GSU students, faculty, employees, and unhoused neighbors will proactively make the GSU campus safer and more conducive to learning. This will look like increasing wages, supportive housing, health insurance, mental health support, and food security for all who interact with the institution. It will require fostering a genuine relationship between students, faculty, administration, and our unhoused neighbors while using the institution's power to demand stable housing and basic needs for all. Only then will this university live up to its potential. In the words of Charmaine Chua, defunding the police is less an end than a prerequisite for a democratic constitution of the processes and institutions of collective life.
Therefore, we call on Georgia State University to 1. Sever ties with the Atlanta Police Foundation, including board members, institutional sponsorships, and collaborations and donations to APF. 2. End all investments in Cop City, including President M. Brian Blake's involvement with the Atlanta Committee for Progress and Georgia State University Foundation donations. 3. Divest from all parties supporting Cop City and police foundations nationally. 4. End all institutional involvement with the Georgia International Law Enforcement Exchange, which has ties to Israeli police and shares hyper-militarized repression tactics with U.S. police, targeting black protesters and civilians and supporting violent apartheid against Palestinians. 5, decrease GSUPD expenditures annually, beginning with fiscal year 2024 budget. Funds should be reallocated to education, increasing student, staff, and faculty wages, non-carceral mental health support, food security, and affordable healthcare and housing. 6, defend students' rights both on and off campus as they participate in protests and civic engagement as they see fit across the city. GSU must demilitarize institutional response to protests in coordination with other local and state police to end the current trend of police escalation and threats of arrest. Atlanta has a long history of protest in the name of social and economic justice. Georgia State should encourage its students to take part in shaping history rather than using its resources to threaten and alienate them. 7, increase transparency with students, staff, and faculty, beginning with sharing GSUPD expenditures and records of the Georgia State University Foundation, Endowment, and Board of Trustees. And 8, develop a community benefits agreement with students, staff, and faculty that advances racial justice and works to repair relationships with local community members who have been harmed by the university's policing and real estate investments, especially Turner Field.